Hello and welcome to another special episode from the Honest Football Podcast. We've talked about this for about 3 championship match day predictions in a row because Barnsley hadn't appointed a manager, but now they have, so we can talk about it. I'm joined as always by Craig Savage, and Craig, we are talking about the fact that Valerien Ismael has been appointed Barnsley manager, and of course we'll also reflect on the fact that Gerhard Struber has left to go to New York Red Bulls, which has made this happen. So first questions first. Of course, unlike last year, Barnsley have seen their manager leave rather than sack him this year. So what was your initial reaction to Struber leaving for New York Red Bulls?
Yeah, that kind of surprised me, to be honest. It's one of those where, it's sorry, because he's done a brilliant job keeping Barnes in the Championship. All right, there's a 12-point deduction for Wigan. Let's get that out of the way first. But yeah, he got into that position to have half a chance of surviving. So you've got to give him a little bit of credit for that. Obviously, something must have happened for him to take the New York Red Bulls job, because obviously, where would you rather be? The Championship, which is probably one of the best leagues in the world, or the MLS? And for me, it's easy. It's the Championship.
I would agree with you on that. I mean, I guess you've led on to my next question perfectly. It's almost like we prepared this. You said that Gerhard Struber, there must have been a reason to leave, and he sort of hinted at a lack of ambition from the board. Now, Daniel Stendel last year had the same situation. I know he got sacked, but similar situation where a lot of his squad was decimated after promotion. And Gerhard Struber seemed to hint that there wasn't enough investment as well. So, a bit strange that it's a recurring theme at Barnsley.
Yeah, I presume they had a budget. Obviously, they probably took advantage of to get promoted from League One to the Championship. Same thing probably with Luton done when they got promoted from League One to the Championship. Obviously, their best players that got them promoted probably sold on. So, obviously, took advantage of money. Obviously, need money to probably for off-the-field stuff, keep the financial books in a good place. And that's probably what they've done. And it's obviously when you get rid of your best players, it's very hard to replace them. Yeah. And it sounds like they haven't really replaced well. All right, as we said, they survived. So yeah, that's probably why Daniel Stendel didn't do well start of last season, and obviously got the shot.
To be fair, we have to take into factor COVID obviously ending this season, and Barnsley didn't know until the 94th minute of the last game what division they were going to be playing in. So, and even after that, with the potential of a Wigan appeal, so there are some mitigating circumstances. I think that's fair to say.
It was a weird end to last season. I can't. It was very weird because they went mad, Barnsley players, when they scored the last minute when they against Brentford. Absolutely mad, and that could have easily gone the other way if as you said, the points deduction appeal went through. Yeah. So that's not Barnsley's problem at the end of the day. That's the EFL and Wigan problem. But yeah, fair play to Barnsley for surviving last season. And yeah, they started slowly, and Struber obviously left. But Barnsley were playing some fantastic football before, end of last season, just lockdown. They were playing some really good stuff, and I watched them against Leeds last season, and they took Leeds right to the wire, and they could have really got something out of it. And Leeds actually, at the end of the game, obviously Barnsley looked dejected, and Leeds just looked really relieved to actually get something from the game.
Yeah. So obviously, for the second time in 2 years, Barnsley have now lost a manager that had given them a heroic moment. The first one, a promotion, and this time, that final day survival, like you mentioned. I want to talk very quickly before we move on to Ismael about the caretaker period for Adam Murray, because actually, as you mentioned in the prediction show yesterday, 2 games unbeaten. He did a pretty good job, and it's understood he was on the shortlist for the job. So he's given Barnsley a little bit of a start to the season, really, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, it's not the first time he's taken caretaker charge at Barnsley. He knows what he's doing, Adam Murray. He's managed Mansfield in the past as well. Yeah. So he just studied the ship for Barnsley, to be fair. And you have to give him credit. 2 draws, a late equaliser against Bristol City, and another point in midweek, which you probably said you wouldn't have predicted at the start with. So yeah, give him credit. Obviously, he's going to take charge tomorrow against Millwall. That'll be before Ismael takes charge for the next day. So it was just obviously watching from behind. And yeah, to be honest, it doesn't really matter now what Adam Murray does. He knows he's got Ismael upstairs watching him. It depends if Ismael wants to keep Adam Murray after.
Couldn't agree more. Obviously, Adam Murray follows us on Twitter as well, so we need to be very grateful to him. He does indeed.
Hello. Oh, brilliant.
I'm sure he won't watch this.
No, he won't.
If you do, hello.
Hello.
Talking about Valerien Ismael, let's move on to him. I mean, I recognised the game. I mentioned to you off camera. I recognised his name from the Bayern Munich on ITV Champions League nights. But as we established in the late 90s, had a brief spell at Palace in England. So my first question is, do you think, as small as that stint was, it will help him at Barnsley?
Probably yes. Well, probably yes and no, because obviously he was there for 8 months.
Yeah.
January to October. All right, he didn't play as many games, but he would have watched the English game and seen the culture of English football. So it was a little bit of experience. All right, it was 20 odd years ago, but it doesn't really matter because obviously English football, also we will still stick to the same. All right, it's been quicker now compared to 98, but it's still the same pretty much of English football. So he might use that as a little bit of experience. He probably has watched the English games because obviously English games all over the world. To be honest, Valerien Ismael, I was surprised. He sounded like he was on the Pro Evo. He sounds like a.
He was on that Pro Evo. I think he was.
It sounds like it. I was like, where have I seen this guy before? So I was like, I think something like compared. When you look at Barnsley's previous managers, obviously like Struber, we didn't really know about last season. Stendhal, we didn't really know about. Jose Moraes, we didn't really know about. Heckingbottom, obviously. So obviously, it looks like he brought in young managers to. It's obviously a big step. Some of it's their first job, and some of it's a big step up from their previous jobs. Ismael was at LASK last season. I didn't even know he was at LASK last season. He done brilliantly well for them. Into the Europa League, got them to play Manchester United,
and got sacked halfway through the tie. Hilarious.
Did he?
He managed the first leg, then the pandemic happened, and he went in the 3 months in between. Yeah, he was sacked. In between.
I did not know that. I knew. I remember the first game.
Yeah,
it was behind closed doors. This should before the lockdown.
Yeah, but I mean, the one thing I wanted to add on him is a bit like Stendhal and Struber. His background managerially and most of his career-wise is German. Again, it seems to be a market they always go for. I mean, it has been successful in other areas of the English game. You've only got to look at the champions of the Premier League last year. So, have they unearthed another gem? Is the big question, I guess. What's your opinion? Because you had them to stay up.
I did have them to stay up, and you had them to finish bottom, and Charlie for 23rd. We did say that. I think I might have said at the time in the prediction show that I think they'll struggle, be the same as we were last season. And the way the league is shaping up already, we know Wickham are obviously pointless. I think they'll be down there. Barnsley need to get wins, and I think that's what any manager, new manager in a new side needs to happen is get wins straight away. Because if you don't get those wins straight away, it becomes harder, a lot harder. And the weird thing is he hasn't got a crowd behind him. Yeah. Obviously, we're behind closed doors, but I think he probably would have wanted a crowd there for his first home game, obviously not, but that'll probably be midweek now. So I think it's always a lot harder for a new manager to come in during a behind closed doors. Chris Hughton's obviously started. Yeah. And I think that's what he probably wanted. It's weird. It's a weird vibe at the moment.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, I've got two more questions for you. The first one, obviously he's been given a 3-year deal. They must have some confidence in him, but without the crowd, which is a very unusual situation, it's what you'd want as a new manager. So my question for you, Craig, firstly, is will Valerien Ismael get the new manager bounce without the crowd?
Well, obviously he's not taking charge against Millwall, so he's obviously starting on Sunday. So he's obviously his first game is against QPR, who pretty much Charlie said they're inconsistent, and QPR can do what knows to try his words, not ours. I think he will, to be honest, because we've all said about QPR being inconsistent, and it has to be a scrappy win. It has to be a scrappy win for Barnsley, no matter what. As I said, they need to get those wins. They need to get up the table now. Yeah, they just need to start get going. If I did my prediction early for that week, for match day 8, whatever it is, I probably would say Barnsley would win, and Charlie would probably say the same thing. So, it needs that new manager bounce. I think they will. It depends what style of play he's got, because Gerhard Struber had quite a pressing sort of game, and the energy levels were very high. We don't know what Ismael was like as a manager. We don't really have watched him coach before, so we'll have to see how he develops his own philosophy into this Barnsley team.
Yeah, I mean, what's scary about this is how much I'm agreeing with you. So I think we're going to have a similar prediction for Barnsley QPR for match day 8. But my final question for you, and I will be fair and answer this one myself at the end as well. You said at the start Barnsley will stay up this season before you knew any of this would happen. Mm-hmm. Given their start, given the new managerial appointment, do you stick by your decision? Will Barnsley stay up?
Oh, I said Wickham will go down. So Sheffield Wednesday will go down, and I said Rotherham will go down. To be honest, you need to judge after a few games, don't you? Especially with a team near the bottom rather than a team near the top that we predicted to go up, like Forest. Do I see them going down? This probably get disliked in the video now.
Probably. You've got to be honest.
No, I think it'd be very tight. I really do. I think they might just miss out this year.
I'll be honest. I obviously had them to go down before they completed the fairy tale escape like Luton, and we've basically risen together from that League One season. So we always keep an eye on each other, and they're good games. But I worry they'll just miss out as well. I don't think they'll finish bottom like I did, because obviously I had Wickham to stay up, as you mentioned, which doesn't look good at the moment. But I agree with you that it might just be a bit too much for Barnsley this year. But I hope I'm proven wrong, because I genuinely like the club and I love Oakwell. So fingers crossed you stay up. Thank you, Craig Savage, for joining me. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
If you did enjoy this episode, please do put a thumbs up on it, subscribe to the podcast, and follow us over on Twitter at HonestFootball3. There's loads of content coming out, and championship predictions twice a week at the moment, with the games coming thick and fast. But thank you for watching. We do appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see you next time.